Why this dog owner had his pet frozen for the future. 7 News at 11.
Good morning. Breaking news. President Bush makes a surprise visit to Afghanistan, his first ever. Meanwhile, back home, his approval ratings sink to an all-time low. Personal vendetta, that's what Howard Stern is calling a lawsuit filed by his former employer seeking hundreds of millions of dollars in damages. But will the shock jock have to pay up? And hair today, gone tomorrow. Ann is finally cutting those long tresses, and it's all for a very worthy cause today, Wednesday, March 1st, 2006.
From NBC News, this is Today with Katie Couric and Matt Lauer, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And welcome to Today on this Wednesday morning, everyone. I'm Katie Couric.
And I'm Matt Lauer. The president touched down in Afghanistan just a few hours ago. It's his first visit to the front lines in the war on terror since his Thanksgiving trip to Iraq back in 2003.
That's right. And he's visiting with U.S. troops, Matt, a very important symbol for the military in general, especially at a time when the situation in Iraq appears to be growing worse by the day. Hundreds have been killed there in the past week alone. That, plus ongoing questions about that controversial port deal, have contributed to approval ratings that have reached a new low, according to one poll. Can he rebound? We'll talk with Chris Matthews about that.
Then, Katie, shifting gears, two shocking personalities, two very different legal battles. Howard Stern's former employer, CBS, says he used their airtime to promote his new gig, and they want him to pay hundreds of millions of dollars back to them. As you might expect, Howard's not taking it lying down. We'll tell you what he has to say. Plus, dressing the part. Anna Nicole Smith dressed down for her appearance at the Supreme Court on Tuesday. She's seeking millions from her husband's estate, and two of the justices seem to be on her side. We're going to have much more on that story as well.
Mrs. Smith goes to Washington, right? Exactly. Also, Matt, our special week-long series on sleep will help you interpret the dream you may have had last night. And the scissors, please. I'll have the honors cutting Ann Curry's locks for a very worthy cause. Ann, are you ready for this?
You know, this is my worst nightmare, to be honest with you, but I trust you, Kate.
Okay, good. I've got the bowl already.
Your worst nightmare. I'm sitting next to her with the scissors, all right? She did mine about a year ago.
That was actually with an electric razor.
Anyway, let's get the latest now on the president's trip.
That's right, and for that, we turn to NBC's Kelly O'Donnell. She's in Delhi, India, the president's next stop. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning, Katie. The president's secret detour to Afghanistan marks his first visit there. The surprise is being described by senior officials as a way to show support for an emerging democracy and to thank U.S. troops at a time when violence has been on the rise. While the president's visit to Afghanistan had all the trimmings of a long-planned event, for security reasons, the surprise stop was only made public after the president and Mrs. Bush left Washington on their way to India.
I come as a friend, an ally, and a person like you dedicated to peace.
The last secret drop-in was in Iraq for Thanksgiving 2003. Today, President Bush and his host, Afghan President Hamid Karzai, appeared together at the palace in Kabul.
We owe a great deal in this country's rebuilding, peace, democracy, the strong steps towards the future, to your support.
President Bush was asked about the wanted man still at large who first brought U.S. forces to Afghanistan, Osama bin Laden.
I am confident he will be brought to justice.
And on the threat posed by Iran, the president described his views in more local terms for his Afghan audience.
Iran must not have a nuclear weapon. The most destabilizing thing that can happen in this region and in the world is for Iran to have develop a nuclear weapon.
The president's travels come at a time when his popularity at home has itself gone south. His latest job approval rating down to 34, colored by a spike in violence in Iraq and public anxiety about an Arab firm running U.S. ports. A difficult stretch for the president.
I think it's impossible to divorce how the war is going with the perception of how President Bush is doing as president.
The president will spend only about 5 hours on the ground in Afghanistan. Then he will head here to New Delhi, his first time in India, where Mr. Bush hopes to come close to a deal on nuclear power. Matt?
All right, Kelly, thank you very much. Chris Matthews is the host of Hardball on MSNBC, as well as the Chris Matthews Show. Chris, good morning to you.
Good morning, Matt.
Let's start with Afghanistan. The president says we're making progress there, but let me read you something from hearings in the Senate Armed Services Committee on Tuesday. The Director of Defense Intelligence said attacks from Taliban remnants there have increased 20% in the last year, and he said, quote, the Taliban-dominated insurgency remains capable and resilient, end quote. Do we have an issue in Afghanistan?
Well, we do. I mean, you just used the phrase, let's start with Afghanistan, and that's what the American people did back after the attack on 9/11. And the president said, we're going to get the people that knocked down these buildings. And everybody agreed with him around the world. And his greatest strength all these years, getting reelected with it, was he could fight terrorism. And now we find not only we can't catch Osama bin Laden, we haven't been able to find Mullah Omar, the head of the Taliban, or Zawahiri. And you keep hearing these reports now for weeks now, if not months, that the Taliban is reconnoitering, they're regaining strength.
Right.
And that Karzai government we saw there in Kabul is really just a government within the city of Kabul. People say that once you get beyond the city, it's wide open country.
So how much of this is impacting the president's approval numbers? Back in January, the numbers were creeping up, I think about 42%. The latest CBS News poll has the president at an all-time low, 34%. Is it the economy? Is it Iraq? Is it Afghanistan? Is it the ports deal? What is it?
Well, if you look at the numbers, Matt, it's pretty clear, but it's terrible news for the president. 34% job approval, 30%, even lower than that on Iraq. So that number's pulling him down. And then the number that really surprised me, 29% on personal approval. People don't like the president as much as they don't like, even more than they don't like his policies, which is a staggering blow because we all know that he's had two things going for him since he's been president. The war on terror, where he's gotten good numbers, and now they're negative.
Right.
And likability. They're both gone now.
Let's talk about the ports deal. The president insists if this had anything to do with weakening security at these ports or in national security, the deal wouldn't go forward. I've talked to terrorism experts who say it's not going to change security, and yet, in this CBS poll, 70% of Americans say they don't like this deal. We've got a 40-day or 45-day security review. Can the president and the administration change opinions in this country in that period?
I keep trying to imagine the president at one of those rallies he holds, even in front of military men who are very loyal to him, and saying, and to make our ports secure and to make you secure, we're going to turn it over to an Arab government. It doesn't work.
It's not going to sell.
The common sense guy working in South Philly near the ports or in Baltimore looks over at the port and he says, it's being run by the Arabs. It doesn't make sense.
Well, let me just take national security out of it for a second. It has political hot potato written all over it. So, Chris, the real question is, how did President Bush, how did Karl Rove, how did they get blindsided by this? How did they miss it?
This blindsidedness has become endemic. When we saw the Katrina horror, it was because the president wasn't even watching television. This is a technical problem. His staff is not keeping him alert 24/7. With the Harriet Miers nomination, he was off base with that. Now he's off base with the ports issue. He wasn't. People like Michael Savage on the radio and Michael Smerconish in Philadelphia,
right.
The radio talk jocks were on this issue weeks before the president was. Why isn't Karl Rove telling the president, Mr. President, we got a heads-up situation here. We got to get on this thing fast. Nobody's waking up the president these issues day to day, and it's becoming endemic, and it's becoming a habitual problem of incompetence. And I'm telling you, the people that really liked the president a few months ago and really trusted him a few months ago on terrorism must be wondering why is his second term so second-rate? They got to ask that question.
Let me end on Iraq. You know, it used to be talk that if U.S. troops pulled out too early, we might see civil war. Now it appears we could see civil war between the Sunnis and the Shia, even though we're still there. The president was asked about it on World News Tonight by Elizabeth Vargas. What would U.S. troops do if full-scale civil war broke out? Here's what he said.
They're protecting themselves and protecting the people, but a major function is to train the Iraqis so they can do the work. I mean, the ultimate success in Iraq, and I believe we're going to be successful, is for the Iraqi citizens to continue to demand unity.
We missed the beginning where he said the U.S. troops' job is to hunt down terrorists. Can U.S. troops really stand by and hunt down terrorists if full-scale civil war breaks out?
We were warned 15 years ago by James A. Baker, the Secretary of State, and General Brent Scowcroft, head of the National Security Council, and former President Bush, that you can't go into Iraq without starting a civil war, and that sucks us into the middle of it. This was all predicted by the Republican experts. The problem is it took a little time for this to take shape because our troops were there. And now, as you point out, Matt, our troops can't even keep these people apart. I think the president has one thing going for him. He has 3 years left, and he has to rebuild his administration. And in all fairness, he hasn't begun to do it yet. And I think that's the real challenge for him, to shake up his team and get a 24/7 team together. He doesn't have one now, based on all the experience of these polls and the facts.
All right, Chris Matthews. Chris, thanks very much as always. Good to see you. And now, let's get some news.
Yeah, let's get a check of the rest of the morning's top stories. And for that, we turn to Ann over at the news desk. Ann, good morning.
Katie, Matt, good morning. Good morning, everybody. In Iraq, Baghdad was hit with still more violence today. 3 bombs killing at least 26 people. NBC's Ned Colt is in Baghdad this morning with more on this story. Ned, good morning.
Good morning, Ann. These attacks started again about mid-morning today, a series of car bombings and mortar strikes.
This bomb targeted a passing Iraqi police patrol. The bomber detonated explosives tucked under a car by remote control. Most of those killed and injured were civilians. On Tuesday, at least 68 people were killed here in bombings and mortar attacks that started in the morning and didn't end until well after nightfall, many of them striking religious targets.
We've suffered enough. An arm here, a leg there. Why does all this happen to us? Is it because we are Shiites? Our crime is being Shiites.
It's not only Shiites. Sunnis are targets as well, in attacks that encourage sectarian division, which threatens to split Iraq apart.
It is in the brink of this sectarian civil war. And now Iraq entered the vicious cycle of revenge and counter-revenge.
Iraqi tanks are now deployed in the streets in a high-profile security effort, but there's little they can do against car bombs and mortar attacks.
Now, other implications of the violence here is that it's going to make it more difficult to form a unity government, and it could delay plans to draw down U.S. forces this summer. Ann?
All right, Ned Colt this morning. Ned, thank you for your report from Baghdad. A car explosion today in Gaza killed a senior commander of Islamic Jihad. Palestinian security sources say the explosion was caused by an Israeli airstrike. The explosion took place on a busy street in a residential area. A new storm system later today is expected to bring more heavy rain to northern California. On Tuesday, parts of Nevada were hit with heavy snow, and winds topping 80 miles an hour flipped over big trucks in Utah. A snowboarder is missing and feared dead after an avalanche on Tuesday in Alaska. Officials said the avalanche conditions are just too severe to start an immediate search. 2 other snowboarders who were with the missing man escaped without injury. Pilots for Northwest Airlines are threatening to go on strike. They have authorized their union to order a walkout if the airline imposes pay cuts and work rule changes, as it has threatened to do. Northwest has said any strike would be illegal. In New Orleans, the party is over. The first Mardi Gras since Hurricane Katrina came to an end at midnight when police began clearing the streets. Officials say the crowds were smaller than usual this year. And a rare look at Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, who agreed to share workout tips in a health series with WRC TV's Barbara Harrison at the State Department gym. Rice says she works out at least 45 minutes every morning, even when she's on the road, and she has a personal trainer who is a former Marine. We're going to have much more on this coming up. Good form. Madam Secretary, it is now 7:13. Let's go back to Katie. Matt. Now, no idea whether this means a more muscle diplomacy from the State Department.
Some good strong work there.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, we're going to be talking with Barbara about that series in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, look who's back from New Orleans.
That's right.
Both of you.
Yeah, I was going to think, weren't you with me? I don't know. In your parallel universe, maybe we weren't there together, but I saw you. Guess you didn't see me. Anyway, let's... Sorry. Let's take a look, see what's going on. I'm going to pay. I'm going to pay for that
a minute ago.
Yeah, but now, forget it. March Madness record high temperatures. Tulsa 85, Dodge City 79, Abilene, Texas getting up to 84 degrees today. More record highs. Rest of the country, icy conditions in the plains, Minnesota. Some parts of northern Minnesota seeing about 6 to 12 inches of snow. Heavy rain in the Pacific Northwest. Sunshine through the southeast. 80 degrees and sunny in Miami today. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
The calendar may say March, but today will be a lot like what yesterday was. A lot of sunshine around, temperatures in the teens at this hour. 18 in Boston, 22 Chatham, 10 degrees in Jaffrey, and 11 in Fitchburg and Worcester. Later on today, we'll warm under mostly sunny conditions into the mid-20s in Worcester, maybe close to 30 in Boston, and perhaps close to freezing farther south. Then tomorrow, a storm system comes in. At this point, doesn't look like much snowfall. Most areas about 1 to 3 inches, maybe a little bit more to the south.
Katie.
Thank you, Al. Secretary of State Condi Rice, this nation's top diplomat, is going from pressing the flesh to pumping iron, as we just saw. She's done a workout video of sorts with WRC morning anchor Barbara Harrison, a former colleague of mine and current friend. She joins us this morning from Washington. Hey, Barbara, how are you?
Hi, Katie. Good morning.
Well, listen, let me ask you, how did you convince Condi Rice to don workout gear, Barbara, and show you her routine in the State Department gym? That's pretty impressive.
Well, we see each other. We run into each other fairly often here in Washington at both official and social events. And she happened to mention to me not too long ago that she had seen the program that we've been running in our 5 o'clock newscast, 5 o'clock in the morning. And when she's up working out, where we are trying to encourage people to get up and get in a workout in the morning. You know, we have a real problem in this country with overweight and obesity and just generally being fit. So I asked her, would you be willing to come on and share with us your workout routine? And she thought for just a minute and said, yeah, I would do that.
And Barbara, you know, as we can see, not only when she's wearing her workout clothes, but when she's in her official business wardrobe, she's in terrific shape. Tell me a little bit about her daily routine and what she does every day. Maybe I can learn something from it.
She's in great shape, Katie. She gets up, she says, every morning, 4:30 in the morning, and begins a 45-minute workout. Sometimes it's a little bit longer than that. It always includes some cardio and stretching. A few times a week, she says that she has her trainer come in, or she meets him in the State Department gym, and they add the weight training as well, some resistance training. And she is strong. She's tough. I've been a person who's worked out almost all my life, and I followed her behind each machine and tried to lift the weights that she'd been lifting. Very impressive weights she's able to handle.
How much can she press, Barbara?
Well, I didn't look. I didn't look at the amount of weight, but I can tell you it was impressive.
And doesn't she have like an elliptical machine or a treadmill actually on the official State Department plane she travels on? For some reason, I remember reading that.
Well, I don't know about that, but I do know that she does get up and walk around. She says she does a lot of stretching when she's traveling. As I think it's been written, she had just gotten off a 15 or 16-hour long plane ride just the night before she came in and worked out with me and met me at 7 o'clock the next morning. And she was full of energy. I mean, we went through about an hour and a half of a workout, and I wouldn't call it a workout video because we don't intend to use it that way.
You're not selling it on DVD?
No, indeed.
Hey, before we go, Barbara, who else are you planning to work out with? Do you have any other big names?
Well, I've got somebody's phone number in New York that I'm planning to call. What do you say, Katie?
Oh, forget it. Are you kidding? Give me a few weeks to work off all the pasta and chocolate. But listen, thanks so much for talking with us this morning. And for me, of course, it's always great to see you, Barbara.
Well, you're a good friend, and I look forward to having a workout, even if we don't put it on television, Katie.
That might work. Okay, thanks, Barbara. Okay. It's 7:17. Once again, here's Matt.
Katie, thank you. Controversial shock jock Howard Stern, now on satellite radio, could be in some serious legal trouble. He's been hit by his old bosses at CBS with a lawsuit seeking hundreds of millions of dollars in damages. But Stern says it's nothing more than a personal vendetta. Here's NBC's Ann Thompson.
My mother's mad that she won't, that I won't kiss her on the lips.
One observer described the separation of shock jock Howard Stern from CBS Radio as a messy divorce.
Did you sleep with him right away when you met Tommy Lee?
No. And it just got even messier. Late Tuesday, in a 43-page complaint, CBS sued Stern for breach of contract, fraud, unjust enrichment, and misusing airtime during his final months under contract, before he left with much fanfare for Sirius Satellite Radio, a subscription radio service similar to cable TV.
I've been bullied, threatened by CBS.
In what he called a preemptive strike, Stern held a news conference hours before the suit was announced.
I showed up every day for work for you guys. I could have, in the last 14 months, I could have not shown up. I could have been sick. I delivered the ratings. I delivered the money to you guys. Why are you picking on me?
CBS claims Stern used its airtime to line his own pockets and build Sirius's subscriber base, essentially giving it free advertising and keeping secret a deal that allowed Stern to collect more than $200 million in Sirius stock for exceeding subscriber targets. Paul Hine is with Billboard Radio Monitor.
Howard announced in October of 2004 on the air that he was leaving terrestrial radio and going to satellite, and then proceeded to do a one-year commercial for satellite radio that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way at Infinity Broadcasting, which is now CBS Radio.
Stern insisted he acted honorably and honestly and blasted the lawsuit as a personal vendetta against him by CBS CEO Les Moonves.
You can't have a lawsuit and leave me on the air for 14 months and then say, I didn't know what Howard was doing.
Like many divorces, this one comes down to money, with CBS Radio asking for what amounts to hundreds of millions of dollars, including the value of the Sirius stock Stern received. For Today, Ann Thompson, NBC News, New York.
Still to come. Speaking of money, Anna Nicole Smith's lengthy legal battle over her late husband's fortune makes it all the way to the Supreme Court. We'll tell you what went on inside the courtroom. But first, this is Today on NBC.
Need brakes? Come into Meineke today for new brake pads or shoes. Now only $29.95.
Meineke Car Care Center. Right service, right price.
Mill stores, so much more than you've ever seen before.
Shopping for furniture? Then why pay more? Discover Mill Stores, where you'll find solid wood pieces for every room in the house at prices you won't believe. Visit us on the web at millstores.com or at one of our 14 locations near you.
Mill Store selection, too good to be true. Finish it your way, or let us do it for you.
Rug is an art form that you can use it and you can feel it. You can feel it with your hand, you can touch it, you can feel under your feet, and you live on it and enjoy it.
Solomon's collection in fine rugs.
Mrs. Henderson Presents is pure unfiltered joy. Enormously entertaining, and now it's nominated for 2 Academy Awards, including Best Actress Judi Dench.
Isn't that delicious? Sorry.
Mrs. Henderson Presents, rated R, now playing.
Well, maybe it's the whole process. I hate to mop.
Dirty water. The ammonia-type odors.
Yuck.
For all of us who hate to mop, Scuba is here. Love the idea of a robot mopping my floor.
This is so cool.
Can you prep, wash, scrub, and dry all at once? With Scuba, you can.
This is a device that's saved you tons of time and keep your house cleaner than it is now.
It left no residue on the floor. iRobot introduces Scuba. Try it risk-free for 30 days.
This is so practical.
I love robots. I love robots.
I love robots.
Available at these fine retailers.
Need brakes? Come into Meineke today for new brake pads or shoes. Now only $29.95.
Meineke Car Care Center. Right service, right price.
And still to come this morning on Today, we're going to have more in our 5-part series on sleep this morning, how to interpret your dreams.
Also, we're on the cutting edge this morning. Ann's getting her hair cut live this morning for a worthy cause. Katie does the snipping. It's a very, very worthy cause for children who've lost their hair. We're going to have more about that after these messages and your local news.
Hi, I'm Felicity Huffman. Whoever coined the phrase beauty sleep obviously didn't have kids, and whoever said sleep deprived probably did. Whenever the kids are up, so am I, and a lot of parents are in the same bed. I mean, both. The good news, Dove Calming Night. Take a look.
Samantha Bell showers with Dove Calming Night Body Wash for a relaxing night of sleep. Because we all know what beauty sleep is like in the real world. New Dove Calming Night Body Wash with rich moisturizers and a calming scent. At least your skin will wake up beautiful.
That could totally be my family. Can modern moms learn anything from Carol Brady, June Cleaver, or Lily Munster? Join me as I visit these classic TV moms in 3 world premiere webisodes at dovenight.com. Click on Buy to watch them. You can get samples, tips, and more.
What happens when you build a car around the concept of precision? You go beyond washer fluid to heated washer fluid, beyond heated seats to heated and cooled seats. You even go beyond Lexus to an available Northstar V8. The ES330 doesn't offer a V8 at any price. Introducing the all-new Lucerne. Starting under $26,000. Buick, beyond precision, not beyond your reach.
Lean cuisine feels more at home among certain foods because we don't use preservatives or artificial flavors. Just the finest, most delicious ingredients. No preservatives, no artificial flavors. Lean cuisine.
New Dawn Direct Foam doesn't sweep grease from one dish to the next. It gets rid of it, like a vacuum. It absorbs 10 times more grease than ordinary dish liquid. New Dawn Direct Foam. A pump of Dawn and grease is gone.
The world may not come with an easy button, but your business does. It's called Staples.
Hey, bus.
I'm not the bus. I can't even catch my breath. You're
a football player with asthma, like you. Do me a favor. Go to asthmacontrol.com and take the asthma control test. It can help you control your asthma better. And talk to your doctor. Asthma doesn't stop the bus, and it doesn't have to stop you.
Hey, Bettis.
Wow. Thanks, kid.
Thank you, Buzz, for everything.
He was a no-show at spring training. Now Manny finally makes his return. How will the Sox slugger hit it off with the team? 7's Dave Briggs is live in Florida with the latest on Manny's arrival. Tonight on 7 News.
Is it Pottery Barn? Crate and Barrel? Even better. For real style, great quality, and surprisingly low prices, it has to be Boston Interiors. This week, don't miss our winter home sale with savings on everything from sofas to dining, bedroom to home office. Boston Interiors. Your furniture has arrived.
7 News is brought to you in part by Subway. Subway, eat fresh.
This is 7 News Now.
Good morning, everybody. It's now 7:26 on this first day of March. I'm Krista Delkamp, and Chicago Whitler has an eye on some snow.
Yep, snow's coming tomorrow afternoon, Krista. But for today, lots of sunshine. It's almost a carbon copy of yesterday. Maybe not quite as windy. 18 in Boston at this hour, 11 in Worcester, 6 in Nashua, New Hampshire. Later today, mostly sunny, close to 30 in some spots. 20s, though, in Worcester County. Tonight, partly cloudy, 16. Tomorrow, 29 with some light snow moving in. Most areas not getting a whole lot. Most of the moisture stays to our south. 1 to 3 inches expected Boston to Worcester.
All right, Chicago in the headlines this morning. Cold temperatures really hindering fire crews on the scene of a major house fire in Malden. This broke out on Acorn Street just after 4 o'clock this morning. 2 people were trapped inside. They were able to get out safely. Also, firefighters were ordered out of that home when the roof started to collapse. Route 128 in Wellesley back open after an overnight accident. A woman losing control of her Jaguar in the passing lane and colliding with a police officer from Weston. Both were taken to the hospital. We're back in a half hour with more of the day's news.
Things are heating up at Subway restaurants with the new Buffalo Chicken Melt. Delicately breaded chicken patties drizzled with buffalo sauce, smothered in melted cheese, and topped with ranch dressing. Served on fresh-baked gourmet bread with your choice of delicious vegetables. The new Buffalo Chicken Melt for a limited time at participating Subway restaurants. Subway, eat fresh.
My Futon Bunk Works is a futon by day, sleeps 3 at night.
with underbed storage and even an innerspring mattress and futon mattress.
Not $9.99, not even $7.99.
The futon bunk works just $5.99.
Appreciated worldwide. The LR3 by Land Rover.
Don't miss the best buying RV show in New England, the Rhode Island RV and Camping Show, March 3rd through 5th at the Rhode Island Convention Center in Providence. Meet scores of dealers from all over the region at the Rhode Island RV and Camping Show.
Ladies, I'm up for it all the time.
Powerful.
People listen to you. You can influence events.
Desired.
And did you like abduction?
Passionately.
Corrupt.
I hand you a chance, and what do you give me? A monument to your reign.
I believe he is on the verge of greatness.
Johnny Depp.
In France, he would be executed for this. Allow me to be frank. You will not like me.
The Libertine. Rated R. In theaters everywhere, Friday, March 10th.
We're back at 7:30 on a Wednesday morning, first day of March 2006. Great crowd gathered outside our studios here in Rockefeller Plaza. Another chilly morning in Midtown Manhattan. Our thanks to them for bundling up and stopping by.
Is he cutting his hair?
Not sure. Meanwhile, inside Studio 1A, Matt Lauer along with Katie Couric. And still to come this morning, an event you will not want to miss.
It's a major television event, in fact, Matt.
Ann is getting a haircut. Now, normally that doesn't sound like a big deal, but you couple that with Katie getting a pedicure next week and me getting a back waxing the week after, you've got a series that you will not want to miss on television. Actually, this is something that Ann has been doing, growing her hair for a very good cause, and this morning is kind of the culmination. You've got the shears there.
Yes, I actually, Ann, I traded my earlier scissors in for a new pair.
That's very comforting, Katie.
I think they need a little sharpening, though. But actually, we should mention it is for a fantastic cause. It's for hair pieces for children primarily who have gone through chemotherapy or who have alopecia.
And who can't afford to get really good hair pieces on their own.
It's a really wonderful thing that Ann is doing, so.
Absolutely.
In all seriousness, I'll put these away now. Also coming up, we're going to kick off a series we're calling Strange Addictions. This morning, people who are increasingly addicted to internet pornography. According to experts, 25 million Americans visit cybersex sites every week, and 3 to 8% of the population may be considered sex addicts today. We're going to address some warning signs and look at steps at how you can recover from this, which can really be very, very damaging, obviously, to your relationships. And later, more of our sleep series, what your dreams may be telling you.
But first, Mrs. Smith goes to Washington. Anna Nicole Smith's financial future is now in the hands of the U.S. Supreme Court this morning. On Tuesday, the justices heard from lawyers involved in her long-running legal battle over the fortune of her late husband. And it created more than the usual stir over a case about someone's will. Here's NBC's Justice correspondent, Pete Williams.
Look, sir, can you please be 30?
She's known in the court documents by her legal name, Vicki Lynn Marshall. But to the photographers who swarmed when she arrived, she's Anna Nicole Smith.
Please, can you let her through?
Former exotic dancer and Playboy model who at age 26 married Texas billionaire J. Howard Marshall, age 89. And now she's a Supreme Court case. She said nothing, letting her lawyers do the talking. But judging from the questions and comments from the justices, she may win this round. She claims her late husband's son, Pierce Marshall, tampered with legal documents, frustrating what she says was her husband's plan to leave her millions. Her lawyer says federal courts agreed.
What the two courts found was that there was massive interference, that there were numerous occasions on which there were documents that were forged.
Several of the justices focused on that, not on sweeping legal principles. It's quite a story, said Stephen Breyer. And David Souter said the case wasn't so complicated, summarizing her position as, quote, I just want some money from this guy. But the lawyer for Pierce Marshall says the federal courts did not have all the facts. He argued this should be left solely to a Texas state court where questions about wills are normally handled.
If the state probate systems can't completely and comprehensively adjudicate these kinds of things, then you have a chaotic situation for the probate courts.
With hundreds of millions at stake, whatever happens here will not be the last word. Even if she wins this round, the legal saga is far from over. For today, Pete Williams, NBC News at the Supreme Court.
Dan Abrams is NBC's chief legal correspondent and host of the Abrams Report on MSNBC. Hey, Dan, good morning.
Good morning, Matt.
Other than the fact it's unusual to see Anna Nicole Smith at the Supreme Court, how unusual is it for the High Court to hear a case like this?
Well, it is unusual. It's unusual for them to take a bankruptcy case. They take some, and they're important cases. This is a case about power. It's about who gets to make decisions. It's about does a federal bankruptcy court and does a federal district court have the power to make a decision that at least relates to an issue of probate.
All right, the lawyer for Pierce Marshall, who's facing off against Anna Nicole Smith in this, says the Supreme Court doesn't probate wills, and he went on to say that Smith had no grounds to bring a separate claim in federal court after losing in a Texas court. Is that precedent?
Look, her position is this isn't just about probate. Basically what happens is the Texas state court comes in and says, done. She's not entitled to anything. So you'd think, okay, it's over. But they're saying, wait a sec, totally different issue that we're bringing up. We're not asking for part of his estate as a sort of matter of just trusts and estates. They're saying the son engaged in activity, torts.
Forging documents.
That's right. Which didn't allow the father to do what he really wanted to do for Anna Nicole Smith. So they're saying that's not just an issue about the estates and about trusts. That's an issue about someone engaging in wrongdoing.
During the session yesterday, Justice Souter and Justice Ginsburg seemed to make comments that sounded like they were on Anna Nicole Smith's side. How important is that?
It's huge. I mean, it sounds like they're going to come down on Anna Nicole Smith's side based on the questions that they're asking.
A couple of things here. The federal court in 2002 awarded her $474 million. A federal judge then lowered that to $88 million. What money are we talking about now? How much is it going to be worth?
You know, it's unclear exactly how much we're talking about, but she would be thrilled to be able to get that $88 million back that the district court awarded her. I mean, I think it's unrealistic for her to think that she's going to get a whole lot more than that, but that's the goal. I mean, she's saying basically a federal district court came back, awarded me $88 million, and I want it.
The relationship, does that matter at all to the Supreme Court? So much is made over the fact she was 26, topless dancer, playmate, he was 89 and not great. That's tabloid. Right. They don't care about the tabloid side of this.
They're not asking questions about, you know, how often they saw each other and did they kiss and this and that.
And why won't she get the money immediately if they side with her?
Because even if they side with her, it goes back to the federal courts, because the Sun's team is going to say, wait a sec, the federal courts only decided this on one issue. There are other legal issues, other legal arguments we have to prevent her from getting the money.
Well, the good news in that is we get to have you back and talk about it.
That's right, and it's all
right, exactly. Dan Abrams, thanks very much. Right. And you can catch the Abrams Report weekdays at 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern Time on MSNBC. Let's get a check of the weather now from Al Roker.
Today's weather is brought to you by Little Debbie. Look for specially marked cartons of Little Debbie snacks featuring the new 2-disc DVD of Lady and the Tramp. Little Debbie, America's favorite snack cakes.
And good morning, nice group of folks here. A lot of these folks getting their hair cut today with Ann for the Locks of Love, so that's awfully nice. All right. Now let's, we were telling you earlier about the big snowstorm that hit Nevada. Well, take a look. This one is really powerful. It brought in anywhere from 10 to 12 inches of snow, 80-mile-per-hour winds knocking over big rig trucks. And there's another big storm coming into California tonight. Heavy rain tonight, storm warnings, northwest Washington coast. Some areas picking up as much as 3 inches of rain before it's all over, and some heavier mountain snows as well. So it looks like northern California into the Pacific Northwest seeing a lot of rain today. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck.
Right now, we've got sunshine and cold temperatures. 11 in Worcester, 18 Boston, 14 degrees in Lawrence. Now, today will be dry, another cold one, 30 degrees for our high. Compare that with where we should be, which is 42. Now, today is dry, but tomorrow we're watching some energy that's pulling out of the plain states and will be pushing towards the mid-Atlantic. It does pass far enough south that tomorrow is not going to be a big deal, but we will have the possibility of maybe 1 to 3 inches of snow, Boston. Heavier snowfall amounts possible as you head farther to the south.
Tomorrow. Okay, good idea. Matt?
All right, Al, thanks. Still to come on today, our week-long series, Sleep from A to Z, looks at the power of dreams and how to interpret them. But up next, some startling numbers about sex addictions, why experts say that online pornography has the problem spiraling out of control. But first, these messages.
We're gonna have a wonderful party party today, Grandpa.
Thank you.
Not yet.
Oh.
Until you miss Macy. But you miss Ribbon.
Ah, good.
And I'll give one to myself.
Well, why do I have to wait?
Grandpa, ladies first.
Oh, I knew that. Why don't we have tea?
Little Debbie, unwrap a smile.
The Pier 1 Take a Seat sale. With savings on selected wicker seating for every room in your home, it's easy to find a new favorite chair. Hurry in before the best seats are taken. Pier 1, life more interesting.
Come on, Dad, you promised to ski with us.
Looks like you could use Halls. Feel the powerful vapor action. Feel the relief.
Feeling better, Dad?
Well, I was. Halls, powerful relief.
For every woman, there is that one color she looks best in. What's right for one isn't necessarily right for another. That's why Jergens Natural Glow Daily Moisturizer is now in 3 shades. So you can have the summer glow that looks best on you. And to complete your glow, try new Natural Glow Face Moisturizer. Jergens Natural Glow. Glowing skin is in.
When banks compete for your home equity loan, a great offer is just a phone call away. At LendingTree, you can get a $40,000 home equity loan for only $200 a month and take advantage of low monthly payments. Call now at 1-800-555-TREE. When banks compete, you win.
The Outback Special. There's 17 spices in this steak. I tried a 16-spice steak once. You know what happened? I said, Mum, not as good. Not as good. Back to the drawing board.
Little ones love to make their own kind of music. Disney's new Baby Einstein Meet the Orchestra DVD playfully introduces them to musical instruments.
Violin, saxophone, drums.
And the different sounds they make.
French horn.
Share the joys of music with your little ones. Bring home Baby Einstein's Meet the Orchestra DVD March 7th. Plus, start your newborn off on the right note with these Baby Einstein DVDs. Bring home all the fun and music today.
What? You said we were going to be paying less.
I'm State Farm Agent Demetrius Simon, and this is a true story.
Making ends meet is tough with a new baby.
When another company kept promising to save us money on car insurance, we believed them.
Guess what? We were charged more.
A lot more.
We switched back to State Farm because we've got an agent we can count on.
Anybody can promise you a good price, but nobody takes care of you like State Farm. Call an agent today.
I think someone's had an accident. Oh. Like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
Friday, the premiere of Conviction. Young prosecutors in the next great drama.
He turned back, and he struck him again.
Conviction premieres Friday, 10/9 Central on NBC.
This morning, we're beginning a special series called Strange Addictions with a look at people addicted to pornography. A quick warning, this story might not be appropriate for children. With the growth of pornography on the internet, it's easier than ever for potential addicts to get hooked. Here's NBC's Michael Oku.
5 years ago, Amy Tracy and her husband Lance, a filmmaker, began what looked like a blissful, adoring marriage, until Lance's secret addiction almost split them apart.
I think in the worst of the worst, I was looking at porn 3 or 4 times a day. Maybe an hour to 2 per session, per time. So that could be a 6-8 hour day, sometimes.
I had no idea.
When did it start feeling to you like something might have been off?
I would say it was about 3 weeks into our marriage. It was kind of like a whirlwind of passion, and then all of a sudden, he just seemed as though he wasn't very interested.
You look at this stuff and you don't have any emotions left over for your wife.
Amy felt lonely, even blamed herself. And just as her marriage was reaching a boiling point, she found a journal Lance kept in a computer file detailing his obsessions with online pornography.
I felt totally betrayed. I felt very unattractive, just not cherished. I felt really hurt.
And when I still couldn't stop, then I realized, I have an issue here.
Internet pornography is the crack cocaine of sex addiction.
Robert Weiss runs a Los Angeles treatment center for sex addicts, 90% of whom are men. Weiss says since the internet is cheap, easy, and anonymous, it's like pouring gas on a fire, already burning in potential addicts.
All those images are so immediate. online. There are so many of them, and you can go from one to another to another to another. You can get really, really lost really quickly.
The number of pornographic pages on the web has multiplied from 14 million in 1998 to roughly 260 million in 2003. The options appear endless.
He had opportunities to, have a call girl type situation. So
Experts say sex addiction is becoming more recognized as a legitimate condition, with radio shows like this one.
I think you speak to issues a lot of spouses experience.
There's even a documentary due out soon, exploring the addiction. The filmmaker, Amy's husband, Lance.
It was a way for me killing the demons that I was dealing with.
Amy says they got back on the right track, welcoming a new son into the family after Lance took the first step, admitting that he had a problem, and after Amy insisted Lance attend intensive interventive therapy with other addicts.
Oh my gosh, it's like night and day, and I respect him so much more. There's a level of honesty and just intimacy in our relationship because we've been through this.
For today, Michael Oku, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Dr. Patrick Carnes is one of the nation's leading experts on sexual addictions. He's the executive director of the Gentle Path program at the Pine Grove Recovery Center in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Dr. Carnes, good morning. Nice to see you. So obviously, this is a very serious problem. Do you think just now it's being accepted more as the serious problem it is and has been?
The two things that have changed everything is that, first of all, it's gotten to be such a problem that therapists are dealing it. Most mainline therapists are now going to see people with the problem. The other part is that we are understanding so much more about the brain. The internet has really helped us to start seeing how sex can be addictive and as a brain problem.
Because a lot of people might think an internet pornography addiction or a sexual addiction in general is really a cover-up for a moral lapse. In other words, somebody who just cannot sort of stay on the straight and narrow, be faithful to his or her spouse, and has fallen victim to this. But it really is a psychological chemical addiction, correct?
Yeah, for some people it can be a moral lapse, and for some people the internet has been a great boon in terms of learning about their sexuality and helping them get rid of shame and what have you. But the fact of the matter is, for some people, it is a problem, a widespread problem, which really just ruins their lives in ways that many people would never be aware of because it's not like it's obvious.
How does it ruin their lives?
Time spent, consequences, money lost.
As we heard in the piece, no emotional reserve left.
No spouse can, first of all, can compete with the internet. Nobody can compete with the internet at that level. This level of stimulation can be so high. And the other part is, if I was to give you cocaine, you never had cocaine before in your life. There's a part of your brain light up. But if you were a cocaine addict, it wouldn't light. When a sex addict, or when most people see pornography, that brain part lights up. But if they're a sex addict, doesn't light up, takes much more pornography to get the same kind of reaction.
So you have to have more and more and more.
It's what we call tolerance, and it's now measurable. We can see this in brain scans, so we know that people have got a biological problem.
How do you know, though, when you cross the line from, say, enjoying this kind of material to actually becoming addicted to it?
Well, we have some signs that we look for, and that are very clear.
Preoccupation.
Preoccupation, one is that they're obsessed about it, and something interfering, for example, from them being able to get online, they find themselves very irritated, what have you.
Anxiety-ridden, right. Loss of control, what does that mean?
Making promises to yourself you're going to stop because you know you didn't get all your work done, or you're spending 8 to 10 hours a day and you're just not doing what you're supposed to do, and you lose your job.
Consequences, does that mean losing your job?
What could be, or get arrested. Getting into into areas that you shouldn't be in, at illegal websites, what have you.
Relational problems, we mentioned that.
One of the things is that one of the signs for a lot of people, and you saw that in the deal, is you get so stimulated having sex with a real person, it just doesn't work. It's so powerful that now just having what would be a loving relationship doesn't happen.
And shame. How does that play into it?
Is complicated, but briefly, it's about you feel defective because you have tried so hard to stop. Why can't you be like other people? And then comes despair. In the Gentle Path program, about 50% of our people walk in suicidal.
What do you do then if you discover your spouse? And some women have this problem too, right?
About 40%.
Really?
40. It used to be like in
and
gambling.
It's probably hard to even know statistically.
In gambling, well, we do know. Gambling and alcohol and sex addiction for years, we were able to measure it 3 men for every woman. When the internet came, both in gambling and in sex addiction, the women's numbers shot up.
Because of the anonymity of it all. Real quickly, we're almost out of time. If you discover this is going on, what do you do?
Well, the very first thing is they got to get help. On the website that you have, there are all kinds of places they can go to help. There's a call center listed that allows that you can get a therapist in your own backyard. You need a therapist for about 3 to 5 years. There's 12-step programs that help. Family being involved in the therapy is absolutely critical.
Really? How can you get family involved in like sex therapy?
Because they're not there by accident. In other words, they
Children?
It's one of the problems. 2/3 of teenagers, 13, 14, are watching pornography while they're doing their homework.
Oh, boy.
So we actually have one of the big problems in this. There's a tsunami coming. And if parents aren't talking to their kids about sex, we're going to see a lot more problems down the road.
Well, it's a very, very important issue. Dr. Patrick Carnes, thanks for coming in.
A pleasure to be here.
Appreciate it so much. And tomorrow, as we continue our series on strange addictions, women who are addicted to bad men. And we'll be back with more right after these messages.
Hi, can you tell me, how are the rooms at that hotel?
Very nice curtains.
Amphibious video games.
Uh-huh. And the rooms at your hotel?
There's a bed and some table.
Right.
Want to compare hotels side by side? Send in the experts at Hotels.com. Only they offer property comparison tools where you choose your hotels, then compare features like pools, restaurants, services, and more. Log on or call now for great deals everywhere. Hotels.com. We know hotels inside and out.
Own it on DVD.
Harry Potter!
Some adventures get better with age.
I'm scared for you.
Own Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Tuesday on DVD.
When you're hungry for a morning break, feel good about your choice. New Baker Breakfast Cookie. It's soft baked with fruit, fiber, and whole grain oatmeal. Keep the goodness going.
Where does depression hurt? Everywhere. Who does depression hurt? Everyone. How does depression hurt? You know you can feel it emotionally, but did you know that you can also feel depression physically? Go to depressionhurts.com and learn what the symptoms are. There are treatments that work on both the emotional and painful physical symptoms of depression, which is thought to be caused by an imbalance of serotonin and norepinephrine. At depressionhurts.com, you'll find a simple checklist of symptoms. Compare it to what you're feeling. Then tell your doctor what you're feeling. Depression hurts, but you don't have to.
Be undeniably you. LensCrafters' unconditional happiness guarantee gives you up to 30 days to decide. Wear them, change them, love them, or your money back. LensCrafters. You'll see, we're better.
I know you put your trust in us when your teenagers take the car keys for the very first time. And that's why Ford and engineers from our Volvo brand are working together to help you see better at night, alert you if you drift into another lane, warn you if cars are hiding in your blind spots, making cars safer for our families and our children. We're renewing our commitment to driving American innovation. At the core of that effort is your safety, because every single life saved is worth it.
Still to come, we've got a hair-raising event right here on the plaza.
That's right. We've got a lot of great folks who are going to get their locks lopped off for Locks of Love, which is a fantastic cause. And, of course, Anne is going to be leading the way.
And who's going to have the shears but our own Katie? Check that out after these messages.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Wouldn't it be great if your insides could be this happy? They can, with new all-brand yogurt bites.
tasty golden bran flakes plus yogurt-coated oat clusters.
And just one serving provides 40% of your daily fiber needs.
Yeah! So don't make us unhappy.
We know where you live.
If you're happy.
New Old Brand Yogurt Bites. Get happy inside.
Walking in the sunshine.
Burger and fries. $4 on MasterCard PayPass. Always having time for a quick pit stop. Priceless. Introducing MasterCard PayPass, the faster way to pay. Just tap and go.
Last fall, I moved into our dream house, and my allergies acted up. I tried to cover everything. I even took down my curtains. I don't recommend it. My doctor said that I developed new allergies. Where? My basement? Who knows what's down there?
Are your allergy symptoms worse than before? You may have developed new allergies. That's why it's important to discuss all your symptoms with your doctor. He may suggest simple changes like using a dehumidifier or prescribe an allergy medicine or both. Zyrtec is the #1 prescribed allergy medicine in the U.S. Ask your doctor if Zyrtec is right for you. It's approved to treat both indoor and outdoor allergies and even treats itching due to chronic hives. Zyrtec's most common side effects in adults include drowsiness, tiredness, and dry mouth. Lots of allergies, just one Zyrtec.
Well, the technical term for what I do is neurosurgery. I am a brain doctor.
I'm a lifeguard. I save people.
I'm a race car driver. Formula 2. One.
Me, I'm a hand model.
20 million? No, that's not enough. I'm a big game hunter, cage fighter.
Lumberjack.
Must get lonely out there.
Yeah, well, I do have the dolphins. I'm an author. Mostly books.
You told my friend you were a lawyer.
In the off-season.
Walking in the sunshine.
Matinee and a box of goopers. $10 on PayPass. Always having time for a quick pit stop. Priceless. Introducing MasterCard PayPass, the faster way to pay. Just tap and go.
Why ask your doctor about Botox Cosmetic?
This is my time.
Everyone has their own reason. Curious? Go to BotoxCosmetic.com to find a doctor nearby, because only a doctor can answer all your questions. What will your reason be? Ask your doctor about the one, the only Botox Cosmetic.
Isn't it about time?
It's your husband again.
I feel your pain, honey. Is it a dry cough or a wet cough? It's called a fever. Drink the tea. Drink it. Yeah, you see, these are the things that I don't know. Well, don't use paper towel. No, you don't sound worse. Then don't look at it.
Stop and Shop is a full-service pharmacy so you can have your prescription filled while you shop.
You know I'm not a doctor, right?
Transfer your prescription online or drop it off. One less thing to do, just like that.
Have you spent all your life in New Mexico?
Not yet.
Oh.
Critics are raving about Transamerica.
Praise the Lord.
It's a deadpan, hilarious, feel-good epic.
My parents' house.
I thought you said your parents were dead.
Lucky no. Dog is a sex maniac, just like your father.
And
Seven News is brought to you in part by Burning & Phil's Furniture.
This is 7 News Now.
Hi there, good morning at 7:57. I'm Jonathan Hall, and here is Chicago Windler with the weather.
And right now it's very cold. It's also very sunny. 11 in Worcester, 18 Boston, 14 in Lawrence. No big changes since yesterday. Quiet today. Storm system pulls out of the Plain States and heads into the mid-Atlantic tomorrow. It will push south of us, but nonetheless we will get some light snow. At this point, not a lot of snow. Most areas just 1 to 3 inches, maybe a little more as you head down to the south, down towards the Cape. Here's a 7 on 7, and outside of tomorrow's snow, it stays cold and dry.
Top stories now. An emotional plea from the family of a Boston woman murdered in New York City. Emmett St. Guillen's mother is begging anyone with information on her daughter's murder to come forward. St. Guillen was raped and strangled after leaving a New York City bar early Saturday. Police scanning video of the young woman from a security camera outside that establishment. Firefighters on the scene of a major house fire in Malden. It broke out on Acorn Street just after 4 a.m. 2 people were trapped inside, but they got out safely. Firefighters had to abandon the scene after the roof started to collapse. I'm Jonathan Hall. The Today Show returns after this.
3 more
reasons to buy your Sealy at Bernie & Phil's Furniture this week.
First of all, we've got the guaranteed lowest prices every day.
Secondly, you can buy it today and sleep on it tomorrow with Bernie & Phil's next day delivery.
And this week, Bernie & Phil's will give you a free Sealy bed bundle with a purchase of $9.99 or more. You'll also get free removal of your old mattress and your choice of free delivery or a free frame.
You owe it to yourself to shop there.
Bernie & Phil, quality, comfort, and price. That's nice.
I am 3 sessions into chemotherapy. I walk for myself and my grandmother. I walk for my Aunt Rosary. I walk so that no other child will have to go through what my children have gone through.
It's hard to explain, but it's an energy that you've never felt before.
The Breast Cancer 3-Day, 60 life-changing miles. Take your first big step today by visiting our website for information and a 3-day wristband.
You know, if it saves one person, it's worth everything that you go through on that walk.
Puerto Rico. Explore beyond the shore.
Brittany on Kevin, what she told us about her husband.
Don't give him too much of a head.
Then hair today, gone tomorrow. Which star is getting it all chopped off on live TV? Next, Access Hollywood.
Access Hollywood, tonight at 7 on 7.
Long, beautiful hair, shining, beaming, steaming, waxing, waxing.
And we're back at 8 o'clock on this Wednesday morning. It is the first day of March. Why did I just realize that? The year is 2006. We've got a terrific crowd that's gathered outside our studio in Rockefeller Center. It is sheer madness out here as we start our Locks of Love blowout extravaganza on the plaza. And we've got many, many volunteers who are going to be in tears after they cut their hair. Hopefully not. But you know, a lot of people have a very emotional connection with their hair, so I don't.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir here,
right?
right? Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Okay.
So we really appreciate everyone showing up and donating their locks to a very worthy cause. I'm Katie Cook, along with Matt Lauer and Al Roker. So I get to cut 10 inches off Ann's hair. I get to measure it, and I've traded it. There, Ann is getting ready for her big extravaganza, and I have traded in the earlier shears for these because I think they're much sharper.
Oh, that's going to hurt, actually. That's just going to yank the hair out at the roots.
And don't worry, I'll be gentle, I promise. Anyway, what else is coming up in this half hour?
Also coming up, we are going to be talking to Martha Stewart. She's here to do a little cooking vegetarian dishes, but of course we also have to talk to her about the beef she seems to have with Donald Trump. We talked to, get it, thanks. We talked to him a couple of days ago, and then we're going to continue our series, Sleep A to Z, and today we're going to talk about interpreting your dreams. We've all had the experience, you wake up in the middle of the night or the morning and you go, what was that about?
Do you ever have recurring nightmares?
No.
Yeah. I always, you do? What's yours?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No.
I always dream that I forgot to drop a course in college.
Well, that's kind of a very common dream.
Then I go in and take the test. I have no idea what I'm doing,
Being unprepared
and I'm
for a test.
freaked out.
Being unprepared for a test is a major one. Finding yourself naked in the middle of a crowd of people like this. Yeah. That's also a very common one.
Showing up naked for a test.
Bad also.
My
anyway.
mom still dreams today that she can't find her locker at school.
Really?
Isn't that weird?
Anyway, these are all the things we're going to be talking about. How to interpret the dreams you have once or over and over again.
But first, before we get to all those things, Natalie Morales is filling in at the news desk while Ann prepares for her big cut. Natalie, good morning.
Good morning to you, Katie, Matt, and Elle, and good morning, everyone. Today, a surprise visit to Afghanistan for President Bush. On his way to India, the president made a quick stop in Kabul to meet with President Karzai and later with U.S. troops. The president said he remains confident that Osama bin Laden will eventually be brought to justice. Police in India estimate as many as 100,000 people have been rallying in New Delhi today, protesting the visit by President Bush. He sees India as a natural ally because of its strong democratic government and booming economy. But many in India are upset by the U.S.'s invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan. The president will also be visiting Pakistan, encouraging it to improve efforts to fight terrorism. More deadly violence, meanwhile, in Iraq, where several bombs have killed at least 26 people. At least 68 people were killed Tuesday in attacks directed mainly at religious targets. Palestinian police say the top commander of Islamic Jihad militants has been killed in an Israeli airstrike. His car was incinerated when hit today in Gaza City. Islamic Jihad vows revenge against Israel. Northern California is expecting more heavy rain from a storm system that arrives today. Parts of Nevada were blanketed with heavy snow on Tuesday, and hurricane-force winds flipped over big rigs in Utah. Wheaties has unveiled its new boxes honoring 2 U.S. Olympic gold medal winners, speed skaters Paulo Anton Ono and Joey Cheek. Congratulations to them. MIT gets the gold. On Tuesday, pranksters hung a giant replica of a gold medal from the Torino Olympics from a campus building. Officials not really sure how it got there or who even did it. Looks pretty cool, though. Now 8:04, time for the weather and Al.
Today's weather is brought to you by Universal Orlando Resort. Take your family vacation to the next level. Experience Universal Orlando Resort.
Ted on the brisk side, and got some friends here from Alabama. Yeah, where in Alabama?
Birmingham.
Birmingham. A little nippier here than Birmingham.
Sure
yes.
is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, you bet. All right, let's check and see what our pick city is for today. Pittsburgh. Look out for the Squirrel Hill Tunnel. PXI 11 alive. Morning clouds breaking for some sunshine. 37 degrees today. Rest of the country, clouds through the mid-Atlantic states. Record highs again from Texas into the plains. Wet weather, Pacific Northwest into Northern California. Snow showers around the Central Rockies and a little fog around the Texas coast into the Central Gulf. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
And right now we've got cold temperatures, lots of sunshine. It's 19 in the city, 17 in Fitchburg, and 21 degrees in Norwood. Highs should reach close to 30 today. And as you can see, the extended future for March is looking cold. We should be in the 40s, nowhere close the next several days. It's dry today, but a storm system is going to be tracking down to our south for tomorrow. Could bring us some small snowfall accumulations beginning tomorrow afternoon, and then it looks like they'll probably be tapering off by tomorrow night. Once we get rid of that, it's quiet.
Today's your birthday?
Yeah.
What's your name?
My name is Heather.
Heather, happy birthday. All right. Katie?
All right, Al, thanks so much. Hey, Al, maybe
Yeah.
I'll cut my braids. What do you think? Anyway, up next, a very hairy situation. But first, these messages.
I want to be pampered by natives.
I want to ride off with that special someone.
I want to get closer to my children.
I want to take my family over the edge.
Your family has moved on. Isn't it time your vacation did too? And now, kids stay, play, and eat for free only at UniversalOrlando.com.
Dibs from Edie's, the bite-sized ice cream snack. Munch 'em, pop 'em, have fun with them. Dibs, the next little thing in ice cream.
I wish I lived closer to the office. Not this close.
This one's only a 10-minute commute.
Find your perfect place. It's easy with RE/MAX. Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX.
Ever like that one? Look what I've got. What's this?
My osteoporosis medication.
Oh, the one you only need to take once a month.
That's the one.
It's Boniva, a once-monthly prescription treatment for postmenopausal osteoporosis, clinically proven to build and maintain bone density.
Well, that's doable. I can do that. Yeah.
So where'd you get this? My doctor prescribed it.
Are you kidding?
And unlike treatments you take every week, you only need Boniva once a month.
Oh, aren't we in the know? I
have my moments.
Okay, lace them up, lady.
You should not take Boniva if you have low blood calcium, severe kidney disease, or cannot sit or stand for at least 60 minutes. Follow dosing instructions carefully. Stop taking Boniva and tell your doctor if you experience difficult or painful swallowing, chest pain, or severe or continuing heartburn, as these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems. You do the right thing to treat your osteoporosis. To build and maintain strong, healthy bones, ask your doctor about once-monthly Boniva. There's only one.
This is Ted.
Hey, Pete.
This is his wife, Ann. Ted just turned 50. He now has a much higher risk of getting colon cancer. Ann wants him to visit his doctor to get checked, like she did. She won't get off Ted's back until he does.
Very nice people. We want to make
You
sure
go,
that we
Ann.
have that 30%.
If you're 50 or older, talk to your doctor about getting tested for colon cancer. For a free information kit, call 800-ACS-2345. This is the American Cancer Society.
Mommy doesn't make it like that.
I don't always have time to make everything myself.
Why?
Because I have to be at work early to light and heat the earth.
New Jimmy Dean skillets, a delicious breakfast all pre-chopped. You just add eggs.
Chances are you've noticed for about a year now, Ann Curry has been letting her hair grow out really long, and it's been for a very good cause. Well, now the time has come to chop off at least 10 inches of that, and I don't know how you feel about this.
Well, you know, I feel excited about that feeling that I know we're supposed to be able to feel whenever we do something good. You know, that feeling of just that you've done something, and I want to have that feeling, so that's what I'm excited about. Well, it was more than a year ago, in fact, that my daughter Mackenzie came to me with Amber's idea to grow our hair out for Locks of Love. Actually, Julia and Kara, also, these are friends of Max, all did it together, and they've cut their hair. And so if you've been wondering why, does Ann Curry look like Crystal Gale? Well, here's why.
Hear about it in the stories, the princess with the long hair.
Max's hair is so beautiful. She has these perfect little ringlets.
Amber's hair is dirty blonde with mixtures of light brown.
Julia's hair is really nice because it's very thick, and Kara's is long and straight, and it's really silky.
I've always been known at my school as the girl with really long hair.
You always like to do it nice so you look nice, and everyone's like, oh, you look so pretty. Amber and Mac both came with this idea to cut our hair for Locks of Love.
Locks of Love makes wigs for kids who are affected by different diseases in which they lose their hair.
I'm really, really proud of what you and your friends are doing.
Thank you.
I was about 7 or 8 when my grandmother was diagnosed with cancer. She lost all her hair. She was so ashamed she wouldn't let anybody see her without the wig on.
I think if Grandma could see what you're doing, she'd be really proud of you.
I've never gotten the whole imitation of her accent down quite.
She'd say, Mac, really good job. Thank you very much. You have a nice hair.
I'd always had long hair, and it's difficult to give up something that's a part of you.
Hi, guys.
I want to have pictures of us with long hair.
Haven't seen Amber. Ooh.
If I feel so terrible with just having a bad hair day, then I guess it should feel 100 times worse not even having hair. Oh!
Drum roll, please.
Losing this amount of hair is nothing compared to losing an entire head full. There's no comparison at all.
3, 2, 1.
Now someone else will be able to have hair too and have something back that they've lost.
I describe my personality as funny, outgoing. People say I show my true colors. My name is Lauren. I'm 12. I have alopecia. My hair was jet black. I like to curl it, brush it, twirl it around my finger. I was about 8 when I first realized what it was. Now I'm 12 and it's all gone.
It's not life-threatening, but it's tragic and emotional.
When I look in the mirror, I sort of get mad at myself that I have this condition. And sometimes I'll look in the mirror and go, oh, I look pretty today without my hair. The hairpiece that I have now is really, really itchy. The hair's plastic. It doesn't look like it's my hair or anything.
I think that the hard times for her is when all the girls go and they braid their hair, and they're going from one girl to another, and she knows that they sort of stop when it comes to Lauren.
Help her! I stopped playing basketball because I was afraid my synthetic hairpiece would fall off. It's hard because you can't be as active as other people are. I want people to look at me as a normal girl, not just she doesn't have any hair on her head.
We had to cast her head, and that was the mold, basically, that they used. That is a prosthesis made just for her. It's not going to come off.
Hey, guys. This is Lauren.
I went to New York to meet these 4 girls who donated their hair to Locks of Love. and to receive my hair piece.
I think we should come in and give Lauren what she's been waiting for all these months.
Come on, sit down for a minute, relax.
I'm so excited.
Hey, Lauren. Here you go.
Aww.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's better than this one. This one's all fried. Feels like real hair.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it is real hair, so.
It'll take you a minute. It's got to be exactly in the spot where we did the mold. Why not fall right in?
Wow. I just want layers. It looks so cool. Feels like silk and smooth.
It'd be incredible to have lost something that you thought you'd never get back, and then wanting to just get it back all of a sudden. I think it'd feel really great.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I love it. So pretty.
It looks so good.
It's so it looks beautiful.
Lauren Savrin, come on out. Yay!
Hey, Lauren.
You know, I've got to tell you, Lauren looked beautiful without hair, and she looks so beautiful with hair. How do you feel now? How did your friends react?
They liked it a lot. They were really happy for me. They
just were excited.
Many of them were really proud of me.
Yeah. Well, I think what I'm really proud about is that you were able to do this on national television, show everyone what you look like without hair to help other people, which is a really great, generous thing that you did.
And Lauren, I think it's so impressive. Yeah, I saw you playing basketball, so obviously, you know, you can do all sorts of activities and really feel better about yourself at the same time. So that must be nice.
Yeah. It's really nice that I can be active as I'd like to be.
She's an athlete, and she likes to actually go swimming, and this wig is so fitted on her head that she can actually jump into a pool.
And it seems like you made a bunch of new friends, too, which is really good. But, all right, we're stalling here.
I know.
Because the time has come, Lauren and ladies, for Anne to get rid of this hair she's been growing. We've turned our plaza into a high-end salon. The only catch is, to be a client at this salon, you have to be willing to cut at least 10 inches off your hair.
Right.
And that's what all of you are going to do, but Katie has taken a huge interest in actually being the one to cut your hair off. I don't know what this says.
Well, okay, everybody, can we see? Katie's got the scissors.
I actually was asked to do this. I didn't volunteer.
No, you know what, Katie? I trust you on this. You do? I do. I trust you on this.
Okay.
Enjoy yourself.
Okay, I should point out that I'm measuring 10 inches here. Hi, Guy. Guy is a hairdresser here on the show. Bonjour, Guy. He's helping me. He's giving me a little bit of help. Hi,
It needs to be 10
How are you
inches
guys?
or
Nice to
they
see you
turn it
all.
back.
Okay, Anne.
Okay, Katie, we have to go like 1 inch above.
1 inch above the rubber band.
And you have
to speak with a French accent.
Yes.
Okay, 1 inch above the rubber band.
Okay, voila.
Like here.
Say
Guy?
goodbye, Anne.
No.
Here? Here?
Yeah.
Here?
2, 3. Go on, don't stop.
Don't stop.
Don't stop.
Here it
Push,
goes.
push.
Oh my goodness!
Go.
Almost. Almost there.
Okay. Don't move. A big chunk went up. Okay.
This is a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, is it hard, Katie? Is my hair coarse?
There's a lot of hair, and I don't want to screw it up. Now, Anne, we're going to hand you over to a professional, Guy, after I'm done with this.
Right.
So he's going to fix your hair properly.
So, yeah, I know. I did think about letting you style it, but then I decided that was probably not a good idea.
You did very good.
It's my hair. Oh, here it goes. I feel it. I feel it.
Wait. Hold on.
And it's
a little caught. Hold on. Oh, boy.
Okay, that's it. All gone. Everything gone.
Katie, it's like a bullfight. Way to go.
Anne.
The victor goes the spoils.
Anne is so beautiful. She looks good with no hair, but no. I think I did a pretty good job, Anne. What do you think?
I think you did a great job, but more importantly, I feel really good doing this.
Well, good. And you're setting a great example for everybody out on the plaza, because they're going to get up the nerves.
A mass cutting.
We're going to have a mass blowout. But first, the mass cutting. You know, I should have had Joe Michaels do this. Then we would have had the director's cut. Anyway, that looks great, Anne.
We'll be back
Thank
with
you,
Ann
Katie.
Style doing all the cutting here right after these messages.
Shut up, old lady.
The #1 movie in America is
Medea?
They used to call her Wild Load. Beep, beep. Tyler Perry's Medea's Family Reunion.
Don't bring your baby to the movie no more. I hate that.
Rated PG-13. Now playing.
Last fall, I moved into our dream house, and my allergies acted up. I tried to cover everything. I even took down my curtains. I don't recommend it. My doctor said that I developed new allergies. Where? My basement? Who knows what's down there?
Are your allergy symptoms worse than before? You may have developed new allergies. That's why it's important to discuss all your symptoms with your doctor. He may suggest simple changes like using a dehumidifier or prescribe an allergy medicine or both. Zyrtec is the #1 prescribed allergy medicine in the U.S. Ask your doctor if Zyrtec is right for you. It's approved to treat both indoor and outdoor allergies and even treats itching due to chronic hives. Zyrtec's most common side effects in adults include drowsiness, tiredness, and dry mouth. Lots of allergies, just one Zyrtec.
It's winter, and your skin is sending out an SOS. Answer it with Olay Quench. It helps stop the cycle of dry winter skin before it starts. Guaranteed. Olay Quench.
This morning on today's Sleep from A to Z's, the power of dreams. We all do it. Sometimes we dream up to 20 times a night. But what does it mean when we dream our teeth fall out or when we're being chased? Our dreams may appear to be abstract, but they often reflect in our concerns and emotions.
You're all crazy!
Who doesn't remember the series finale of Newhart?
Honey, wake up. You won't believe the dream I just had.
That final episode made it one of the most memorable TV shows ever put to bed.
I was an innkeeper in this crazy little town in Vermont.
And Newhart wasn't the only show waking up from a dream.
Morning.
Dreams have always captured our imagination. We're all curious about the messages and meanings these nocturnal wanderings may contain. Perhaps because we spend 1/12 of our lives in the land of dreams.
A few nights ago, I had this crazy dream.
There's a man hiding in my room.
I have dreams of flying.
Not being able to find my locker.
Just like soaring or floating around.
Mark Salm studies dreams at the University of London.
I think the main reason people are fascinated with dreams is because they have no idea what they're about. It's a very vivid experience. It's as if it were real. But clearly it's not, because when you wake up, you realize it was all in your imagination.
Why we dream is an age-old question that researchers are still trying to answer. We don't know the biological function of dreams, but we all tend to agree they do have significance.
I think dreams are our subconscious playing out its own ideas, wants, desires, fantasies, and putting on a show for us while we sleep.
We dream because we need to have a release from all the tensions during the day.
It's our subconscious being released, coming alive.
I think they represent fragments of emotion, basically, that the mind needs to work through.
I think there's good reason to believe that dreams involve the things that interest us, that matter to us, that mean something to us.
So for now, sweet and meaningful dreams. Gail Delaney is the founding president of the International Association for the Study of Dreams and the author of All About Dreams. Hi, Gail. Good morning. Nice to see you. So should we be paying much closer attention to our dreams in terms of what they may be trying to tell us?
We work so hard every night trying to put two and two together about our lives, trying to solve our problems, try to understand ourselves, our relationships, our work issues, and then we wake up and forget our dreams.
Do we really dream 20 times a night?
We dream certainly 4 or 5 times a night. We may dream many more times if you count little dreams within dreams and things like that. But all of us dream whether or not we recall our dreams. And we're working hard while we're dreaming.
I know that we conducted our own NBC News Zogby poll. 69% of the people polled said they dream in color. So what is the deal? Because I always heard that most people dream in black and white. I think I dream in color too. Where did this whole black and white dreaming thing come from?
Most people who don't remember their dreams well will not remember the color that was in their dreams.
I think people answered that before color TV. That's what I decided, right?
You know, we get more sensitive to color, but ask artists. They'll talk about vivid color dreams, where color is more important than the action of the dream. So it's how sensitive you are to color and how well you recall your dreams.
What's the latest in dream research?
Oh, there's so much.
It's still such a mystery, isn't it?
It's a huge mystery. We can't tell exactly. There's a lot of argument about where the brain's working hardest during dreams, what initiates it. So that's going to have to keep going on. We have to get more and more money for sleep research. But what we have to deal with is how come whatever is going on in our brains, how come our dreams help us to solve our problems? When we go to sleep with a problem on our mind, we sometimes just wake up with a solution. What's going on there? We don't understand that.
I wish I did. I don't seem to do that. But
you don't get enough sleep, Katie.
A lot of people don't remember their dreams. So you have advice, keep a pen and paper at your bedside. Before going to sleep, write down the date. When you wake up, take your time and write out your dream. My mom, we always say we can't tell it before breakfast or it'll come true. Or sometimes you want to. And repeat for the next few nights doing that so you'll remember and be able to discuss them and learn from them, right?
Even if you've never remembered a dream, and most of us have dreamt of falling and flying and being naked in public.
Yeah, what does it mean when you dream your teeth fall out?
Depends. Most people who have that dream have pretty teeth, for one thing. And if I ask them, the way you interpret a dream is to say, how do you feel in the dream? What's wrong with that problem? And most people say, well, if I lose my teeth, I look bad. So you ask yourself in the day before, was there something I did or feared that I was going to look bad, lose face?
Is it true that when you dream you're falling, that if you hit the ground, you're dead?
Luckily, that's not true. Lots of people hit the ground and they wake up.
Haven't you always heard that?
I have heard it, but I've also heard lots of my dreamers who come in and tell me, I hit the ground and the dream continued.
I know. It's an old wives' tale, I think. Well, you're going to come back a little bit later in the show and answer some email questions, and you're going to maybe interpret the dream I have repeatedly.
And work with some dreamers and work with your dream.
All right. Thanks, Gail. And we'll be back with more today. But first, your local news.
What's my favorite weather? Well, I really don't have a favorite weather. I don't have a favorite season either. It's like picking your favorite child. You just can't do it. All of them are your favorite. You love them all. And that's the case with me.
7's chief meteorologist, Pete Bouchard.